coped with. We oppose the regulation-making power.
Mr. Speaker.
Todd McClay.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. It is a pleasure to speak on this bill, International Financial Agreements Amendment Bill. I want to make a couple of points as to why this is important, and then I will touch on the issue raised by the last speaker, Mr. Parker, around whether regulation setting power should be in place or not. The bill itself amends the International Finance Agreements Act of 1961. And that Act of Parliament allows the government to meet its obligations of members of various financial institutions, and in this case we're talking about the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. What that means, Mr. Speaker, is New Zealand is a part owner of that fund, is a part owner of that bank, and the bank does very important work around the world, and the last few years, as the global financial crisis has affected many countries, not only New Zealand, and thank goodness we've got the government we have to help shepherd us through these difficult times, but many other parts of the world, their heads, well, you can't see on people watching television can't see, but heads were nodding up and down on the other side of the House then vigorously. But in many parts of the world, they haven't been so fortunate, and the IMF has had to step up and provide important funding and financial instruments to other governments to keep them going, to keep them working. Now, New Zealand hasn't had to request anything like that because of the sound financial management of our Minister of Finance and the stewardship of our Prime Minister. However, as a part owner of the bank, we have obligations to that bank and therefore to other countries of the world. So therefore, within that, Mr. Speaker, what this piece of legislation does is recognises a change that's been made in the terms of ownership, if we would call it that, of the IMF, and it's the way that New Zealand recognises that and enters into force. Now, Mr. Parker said that these issues should always come before the House. But in effect, it happens anyway. What happens is the government is part of the negotiating process. It's agreed by all IMF members. And when it is signed by all those members, New Zealand signed it, when it's ratified by a certain number or percentage of those members, then the new agreement enters into force anyway, and the obligation is upon us. So actually what's happened here is the government has negotiated, and it's negotiated through the ministries we have that represent us overseas, and an agreement has been reached between all of the countries, and in this instance it's to share out that ownership or the obligation to provide funding by way of loans to the IMF, on loan to countries who have issues in their economies. It's shared out more fairly and more equally, and in this New Zealand has its ownership, its part to play. So whether or not this was to come before the House, the agreement enters into force and the obligation is forced upon New Zealand, and we canvassed the issue widely with advisers and others in committee, but reached the conclusion that the most appropriate way to deal with this was for it to be done in the way this bill now proposes, and of course it is up to governments and cabinets to decide it's in the best interest of New Zealand. Mr. Speaker, we'll be able to delve into this in much greater detail in committee stages, but I commend the bill as it stands to the House.
Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr. Speaker, I rise